Are unpaid invoices piling up and hurting your cash flow? Let me show you how to solve this once and for all with a system that ensures your invoices get paid on time every time. Check out links in the description if you would like to get all the resources used to build this automation. Tools we need to set up this automation are make.com to automate the workflows. You can create a free account with Make. With free account, you will get 2 free active scenarios and 1000 free operations. That is sufficient for creating this automation workflow. Here is the pricing plans page. They have annual subscription and monthly subscription plans. And also we have different tiers of subscriptions. We have this free one, and then we have this core, then we have this pro, and then this is the teams, and finally we have the enterprise one. Make.com is a powerful no-code automation tool. Next, we will be using Stripe. Many companies use Stripe to accept payments online and in person as well. You can create a free account with Stripe. Here is their pricing plan. You will need to create a restricted Stripe API key that we will be using later on. I will quickly show you how to create the restricted Stripe API key. Once you are logged into your Stripe account, click on this developers option, then click on this API keys, then click on this create restricted key. Then we will be using Google Sheets to track invoice payments. You can sign in with your Gmail account and you can create a Google Sheet. Then we have Gmail. We will use Gmail as our email system for sending and receiving emails. Please note, if you want to use Gmail with your personal account, you need to set up custom OAuth client beforehand. I made a separate video with the title Make Automation Connect Gmail Module with Custom OAuth Client. You can refer to the link in the video description. Gather all about details beforehand so that you can build Make Automation without interruption. Download the resources I provided in the description before you start building the automation. Using the template provided will save you a lot of time compared to building it from scratch. Let us say that you are maintaining a Google spreadsheet about invoice payments from customers. Here is an example of such payments tracking Google Sheet. This is the name of the spreadsheet, invoices, and then we have these columns: date, invoice sent, invoice number, then the amount due, and what is the status of the payment, whether it is pending, overdue or paid. Then we have the due date here. Then we have the number of overdue days here. Then this is the payment terms. We are using net 30. That means the customer has up to 30 days to make the payment. Once the invoice is sent, the payment becomes overdue once the 30 days has passed. This will be a simple scenario. We will have two scenarios for building this automation. In the first scenario, we will develop the automation to send emails to customers whose invoices are overdue. The second scenario updates the invoice status when we receive payment from the customer. To start working with the template, first log into your Make account. Let me log into the Make account here. Then you need to import the blueprint I provided in the resource section. To import the blueprint, click on this create a new scenario, then click on these three dots, then click on this import blueprint, then click on this choose file. Navigate to the directory where you saved the template file and select the file that says FBS automatic invoices.json. Then click open here. Once the file is selected here, click on this save button. You can see the model has been imported. First module is the unpaid invoices Google Sheets module. We use this module to find out all the invoices that are overdue for payment. Make sure the Google Sheet template I provided is uploaded into your Google accounts My Drive folder before configuring this module. The system we are building here uses a combination of Google Sheet and Stripe, but it can be adapted to any other tools that you use for invoice payments processing. First, we need a way to get a list of outstanding invoices from our customers. In this scenario, we are using Google Sheets, but you will need to be able to generate it from the system you are using. For example, if you are using Stripe, then we have search invoices Stripe module in Make that you can insert here and then get a list of invoices. Let me show you the Stripe module here. Just right click here and then click on add a module, then search for Stripe. You can see here we have this search invoices module. You can use this search invoices module of Stripe to find out the invoices in your system. Let me delete this as we are using the Google Sheets module for the unpaid invoices. Click on this module to configure it. If you already created a connection, it will be available for selection in this drop down box, else you will see create a connection option. Once you click on that, you will see this create a connection dialog box pop up. You can give any name here for this connection and then click on this sign in with Google option. Follow all the prompts and allow make to establish connection to your Google account. You will see this dialog box once the connection is established successfully. You can see here I'm already connected to my Google account. For the search method, we are using select from my drive and the spreadsheet is invoices. You can click in this drop down box and then let it refresh and then select the invoices spreadsheet that I provided in the resources section. Let me click on this invoices. Sheet name will be sheet 1. Then the table contains headers is set to yes as we have the column names. You can leave the column range as it is. And then here we are applying a filter. We are checking the status column in our spreadsheet, and if it is equal to overdue, then we are retrieving those rows because we are interested in payments that are overdue from the customers. Click on this OK button to save your changes. Now we can do a small test to see how it is working. It's a good idea to keep testing the workflow as we build to make sure we are getting the expected result. To do that, you can right click on this line and then select the unlink option so that the rest of the modules are disconnected from the first module. Then click on this run once button here. You can see the module ran successfully. Here is the output from the execution of this module. You see we have received 3 bundles. Let us verify in the spreadsheet how many customers have the payment as overdue. Let us go to the invoices Google Sheet. Then click on this filter icon. Let us clear the filter now and then select the overdue filter. Then click OK button here. You see we got 3 rows with the payment status as overdue. Here also we got 3 rows as payment status overdue. So we can see our data is matching with the Google Sheet data. Let us connect the modules back. Next we have overdue days module. Here we are using a simple formula to set the variable to number of days the payment is overdue. Click on this module to see the formula for calculating the overdue days. The concept here is that we subtract the payment due date from the current date. When we use the function now, it will return the current date and time. The due date column has the payment due date, and then we are using this parse date function to make sure this due date is converted to date format. When we subtract these 2 dates, we get the result in milliseconds. So we divide the result by 1000 first to get the difference in seconds. Then we divide it by 60 to get number of minutes. Then we divide by 60 to get the number of hours. Then we divide it by 24 to get the number of days. And finally we do a round off. So the final calculation will be in the whole number instead of a fraction for the number of days. The result will be stored in this days since invoice sent variable. Click this OK button here. Next we have the router module. It allows us to create a branching logic in our scenario as we want to send different emails based on the number of overdue days. Here we have created 6 different branches. Here is the first branch. As this is a demo, we are using create draft email module since we are not sending out the real emails. We have divided the overdue period into 6 buckets. The first period is greater than 7 days but less than 14 days. Click on this filter icon to see how it is defined. This is the label for the filter condition, and then we are checking this field. Here the numeric operator is greater than or equal to 7 and it is less than 14. When this filter criteria is met, this branch will be executed. Click the OK button here. We are using the email module to send out the emails. Click on this email module. If you already created a connection, it will be available for selection in this drop down box. Else, check the video description on how to create a connection for your Gmail. Click in this folder and then make sure you select this drafts option. The email address one field has the email address of the customer. Here is the subject line. Content type is plain text, and here is the email body. This is the field that contains the first name of the customer, and this will be substituted when the real email goes out with the actual customer first name. Then we wrote here, hope you are doing well. Just wanted to check in on the invoice I sent, which is overdue. You can customize this as per your requirement. Then click OK here. Here is the second branch. Click on this filter icon to see how the filter is defined. Here the overdue period is greater than or equal to 14 days and less than 21 days. Click OK here. Click on this email module and again click in this folder field and then make sure you select this drafts folder. This is the email address of the customer. This is the email body. You can see the email is different from the previous one. We wrote any update on the invoice which is overdue by 2 weeks. Then click OK here. Here is the third branch. Click on this filter icon. Here overdue period is greater than or equal to 21 days and less than 28 days. Click on the OK button here. Click on this email module. Make sure you select folder drafts here and then this is the email body. We're just saying checking on my invoice which is overdue by a couple of weeks. Click on this OK button here. Here is the fourth branch. Here the overdue period is greater than or equal to 28 and less than 35. Click on OK button here. Click on this email module. Make sure the folder is set to drafts and this is the email body. You can change this if you want to. Then click on this OK button here. Then here is the fifth branch. Here the overdue period is greater than or equal to 35 days and less than 42 days. Click on this OK button here. Then click on this email module. Make sure the folder is set to drafts and here is the body of the email. Click the OK button here. Here is the sixth and final branch. Click on this filter icon here. Here the overdue period is greater than or equal to 42 days. Click on this OK button here. Click on this email module. Make sure the folder is set to drafts. Here is the email body. You can see the emails are becoming more and more serious as the number of overdue days is more. You can customize this email as per your requirement. Click on this OK button. You can also add additional actions here. For example, you want to send a legal letter since the payment is overdue by more than 42 days. We have finished the configuration of our first scenario and now our scenario is ready for testing. Make sure all modules are connected and then click on this save button to save your scenario. Before we test our scenario, let us look at the spreadsheet here. Here you can see we have 3 customers with payment overdue status and they are in the buckets of 7 days, 14 days and more than 42 days. Here you can see my drafts folder of my Gmail account. It is empty now. Now let us go back to the make scenario. Click on this run once button. We can see the scenario is running and then we can see these 3 branches got executed. The number 1, number 2 and the number 6. This is as per the expectation since we have the overdue days as 7, 14 and 62. Let us also check the drafts folder of my Gmail account. You can see 3 emails are sitting in my drafts folder. Let us check the first one. This is the email of the customer and this is the email body and this is the third one. This is the email body. We can confirm that our first scenario is working perfectly. After completing the scenario configuration, testing and making sure it is working as per your expectation, you can schedule the scenario to run at regular intervals. In order to do that, you can click on this scheduling option and then select whichever option is suitable to you. If you want to run it every day, you can select this every day and then specify the timing, like at what time you want to run this scenario. For example, if you want to run this scenario at 10 p.m. every day, click on this OK button here. Now you can see our scenario is scheduled to run daily at 10 p.m. Now let us move on to the second scenario of updating the spreadsheet when we receive the payment from the customer in Stripe. Click on this create a new scenario, then click on this 3 dots. Then click on this import blueprint, then click on this choose file, navigate to the directory where you have downloaded the template files and then select the file that says FBS paid invoices.json and then click on the open button here. Once the file is selected here, click on this save button here. You can see the model has been imported. I did some configuration in Stripe so that we can simulate a payment from the customer. Here I am logged in to my Stripe account and we can see my account is in test mode here. Here you can see it is saying this account is in test mode. Complete your business profile to accept live payments. At this point, we're not accepting any live payments. I also created couple of customers who are in our invoices spreadsheet. Click on this customers option. Here are those 2 customers I created and I added some funds to this customer. Here it shows the balance amount the customer has so that he can pay the invoice. We want to mimic the event that this customer has paid his invoice amount so that we can trigger and run the make scenario. Now let us look at the scenario configuration. Let us switch back to make. The first module is the payment received Stripe module. Here we are using Stripe Watch Events module. The Stripe Watch Events module acts as a listener for Stripe events. It continuously monitors your Stripe account for specific events triggered by actions like successful payments. Click on this module to configure it. I have already created a webhook here, but when you do for the first time, you will see create a webhook option here. Once you click on that, you will see this create a webhook dialog box pop up. You can give any name here for the webhook. Then you will see create a connection option here. And when you click on that, you will see this create a connection dialog box pop up. In the connection type drop down box, select Stripe API key. Then you can give any name here for the Stripe connection. And for the API key type, we have restricted API key. You can leave it like that. If you click in this drop down box, you will see another option, but that option is deprecated. Only option we have is restricted API key. Here you need to copy paste your restricted API key. I will show you where to find your restricted API key in Stripe. Once you are logged into your Stripe account, click on this developers option here. Then click on this API keys. You can click on this create restricted key if you have not already created one. Else you can click on this reveal test key option. Then it will display your test key here and then you can copy it. Then switch back to make and then paste your restricted API key here. Then click on this save button. Now click on this group drop down box, scroll down and then select this payment intent option. Then you will see an additional event drop down box. Here you can scroll down and then select this payment intent succeeded option. You can check this one. Then click on the save button. You will see this dialog box once you complete all those steps successfully. It should be saying we read your mind, we attached this webhook automatically for you. You can go ahead and click on this show address button to reveal the webhook URL generated for you. We should see this same address updated in your Stripe account so that this make scenario is triggered when payment intent succeeded event is raised in your Stripe account. I will show you where you can check webhook URL in Stripe. After you are logged in to your Stripe account, click on this developers option. Then click on this webhooks option. Here you will see this unique make.com URL generated by Make. If you don't find anything here, you can copy paste the make.com webhook URL here by clicking this add destination button. Let us switch back to Make scenario. Click the OK button here. Next we have the get customer Stripe module. Here we are using retrieve a customer Stripe module. It allows you to fetch information about a specific customer from your Stripe account. It acts like a data retrieval tool for customer details. Click on this module to configure it. You should be able to use the previous Stripe connection that you already established in the previous module. In the customer ID field, we have the customer from the previous Stripe module. You can leave this expand drop down as select all and then click on this OK button here. Next we have find customer row module. We are using Google Sheet search rows module to search for customers based on the email ID of the customer. Click on this module to configure it. You should be able to use the previous Google connection that you already established in the earlier Google Sheet module. For the search method, we are using select from my drive and the spreadsheet ID is invoices and the sheet name is sheet 1. Table contains headers is set to yes. The column range you can leave it as it is. Here we are applying the filter condition. We are checking for the email address field and comparing it with the email field that we are getting from this Stripe module. This module will output the rows that are matching with the email that we got from this Stripe module. Click on the OK button here. Next is the payment status update module. Here we are using Google Sheet update cell module to update the status column since we received payment from the customer. Click on this module to configure it. You should be able to use the previous Google connection that you already established in the earlier Google Sheet module. Again, search method is search by path, and then we are using my drive as the drive. Spreadsheet is invoices. Sheet name is sheet 1. Here we are updating a specific cell associated with this customer with paid value. We can look at the invoices Google Sheet here. It is referring to the column H, which is status column, and then it will take the row number corresponding to the customer when the email ID matches, and then that column will be updated with paid value. Let us switch back to the make scenario. Click on the OK button here. We have finished configuring the second scenario, and our second scenario is now ready for testing. Click on this save button here to save your scenario. Click on the run once button here so that the make webhook is listening for the payment event. Now let us look at the invoices Google Sheet. Here you can see Morris was sent an email as he has $980 as overdue. Our nice customer decided to pay the overdue amount as he received our email reminder. Let us simulate the payment as if Morris paid it himself. Let us log in. Click on the customers option here, then click on this Morris, then click on this create payment button. Let us enter the amount of $980 and let us copy this invoice number and enter it here in the description. We're saying the invoice number and then the invoice payment. Then click on this create payment button. We can see the payment is successful here, which should have triggered the payment intent succeeded event, which our make webhook is listening for. Now let us switch to make scenario. We can see our make scenario ran successfully. The green letters below the modules mean the module ran successfully. We can also look at the module input and output by clicking on this magnifying glass. Let us click on this object and expand it. Here we can see the amount $980 came through. Let me close this. Now let us look at the invoices spreadsheet, and you can see the payment status for this customer is updated to paid. Now when the first scenario runs next time, this customer will be dropped from the overdue payment list. Congratulations, you successfully built Make workflow for automatic invoice payment tracking system to get your invoices paid on time. If you need help building any kind of automations, automated lead generations, setting up cold email machines for your marketing campaigns, please reach out to me. If you found this video useful, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section if there is any specific topic you want to be covered. Bye until next video.